Her name is Amira Harper. She was 28 years old. She was a mother. She was a daughter. She was a friend. On July 19, 2025, at exactly 8:38 p.m., her husband shot her 11 times while holding their 1-year-old baby, while her other children hid in the living room, while neighbors sat on their porches enjoying a summer evening. They had been married for exactly 2 months. 2 months. This is not a movie. This is not fiction. This is not something that happened somewhere else, to someone else. This happened in Philadelphia 2 weeks ago, to a real woman, with real children, who had real dreams, who deserved real protection, and we all failed her. I'm going to tell you everything. Every detail the police found, every warning sign we missed, every chance we had to save her, every system that broke down, every person who could have helped. Because her story isn't rare, it's common, and it's happening right now to someone you know. Maybe someone you love. Maybe you. Before I tell you how she died, let me tell you how she lived. Amira Harper was 28 years old. She had 3 beautiful children. Her family called her a dedicated mother. Her neighbors said she was nice, friendly, the kind of person you actually wanted to know. Afa Holloway lived just 2 doors down from Amira. She told reporters she was really a nice person. She was a friend to my daughter. Another neighbor said, "She's like a daughter to me, and her kids always come over here. They play with my grandchildren." This wasn't a woman living in isolation. This wasn't someone nobody cared about. This was a woman people loved. People noticed. People wanted around. She was the kind of mother who let neighborhood kids play at her house. The kind of neighbor who spoke when you passed by. The kind of person who made other people feel comfortable. But somewhere between being that woman and July 19th, something went very wrong. Because on July 19th, that same woman, the one everyone loved, the one kids felt safe around, was running for her life in her own home. And then she wasn't running anymore. This is what I need you to understand before we go any further. Amira Harper was not a statistic. She was not a number. She was not just another domestic violence case. She was a whole human being, with hopes, with dreams, with people who loved her, with children who needed her, and one man decided none of that mattered. Hold up. Before I continue, and trust me, the story gets much darker, I need to ask something. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now. Not later, not after the video, right now. Because what I'm about to tell you could save your life, or the life of someone you love. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. Thank you for caring about stories like this. Thank you for understanding that these aren't just content. These are real women, real families, real tragedies that we can actually prevent if we pay attention. To my longtime subscribers, you know why we do this. We tell these stories because silence kills women. We tell these stories because ignoring the signs gets people murdered. We tell these stories because someone watching right now is living Amira's nightmare. New viewers, this channel isn't about entertainment. It's about education. It's about prevention. It's about saving lives. So subscribe. Turn on notifications. Share this video, because the next woman could be saved if the right person sees this story. Now, let's talk about the man who killed her. Before we dive deeper into this tragedy, I need you to do something right now. Like the person sitting next to you. Think about your sister, your daughter, your mother, your best friend. Are any of them making excuses for bruises lately? Are any of them suddenly quiet about their relationship? Are any of them too busy to hang out anymore? Are any of them with someone who seems protective, but it feels wrong? If you said yes to any of that, I need you to reach out to them today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. Text them right now. I'm here if you need anything. Don't ask questions yet. Don't demand answers. Just let them know you're safe to talk to. Because Amira Harper might still be alive if someone had done that for her. And while you're at it, share this video. Not for views, not for engagement, but because someone in your contacts might recognize themselves in this story, and that recognition might save their life. I'm not being dramatic. I'm being realistic. According to the Philadelphia Police Department, There have been 27 domestic violence murders this year. That's 10 more than last year. In one city, in 7 months, 27 women dead, killed by men who said they loved them. Amira Harper was number 27, but she won't be the last. Unless we do something about it. So do something. Share this video, check on your people, learn the warning signs, because the next Amira Harper is counting on you. Let me tell you about Zaki Bonds. 28 years old, same age as Amira, seemed normal to everyone who knew him. The neighbors said he was neighborly. That's the word they used. Neighborly, polite, helpful, normal. This is what makes this story terrifying. Zaki Bonds didn't look like a monster. He didn't have killer tattooed on his forehead. He didn't walk around threatening people. He didn't seem dangerous to outsiders. He seemed like a regular guy, the kind of guy you'd see at the grocery store, at work, at family gatherings. The kind of guy people said was nice enough. And that's exactly how predators survive. They blend in. They act normal. They charm people. They make everyone think they're good guys, because if they look dangerous, nobody would get close enough for them to hurt. So they wear masks. They play roles. They become whatever they need to become to gain trust, to gain access, to gain control. Zaki Bonds convinced Amira Harper to marry him. Think about that. A woman with 3 children. A woman who had probably been hurt before. A woman who was being careful about who she let into her life. A woman who was trying to protect her babies. And she looked at this man and thought, he's safe. She was wrong. Dead wrong. Literally. But here's what's important to understand. It wasn't her fault that she was wrong. He made her wrong. He lied to her. He manipulated her. He performed for her. This is what abusers do. They don't start with violence. They start with charm, with romance, with promises, with making you feel special, with making you feel chosen, with making you feel safe. And then they trap you. They wait until you're committed, until you're married, until you've moved in together, until you're financially dependent, until you're isolated from friends and family, until you're pregnant, until you have nowhere to go. Then they show you who they really are, and by then, it feels too late to leave. It feels too complicated to explain. It feels too dangerous to try. So you stay. You hope. You make excuses. You think you can fix them. You think you can love them back to being the person they pretended to be. But that person never existed. It was always a lie, and the lie was designed to kill you. Ladies, if you're watching this and thinking about a man in your life who seemed perfect at first, but now scares you sometimes, listen to me. The person he was in the beginning was fake. The person he is now when he's angry, that's real. The person he promises to become if you just give him another chance, that's fake too. The real him is the one who hurts you. The real him is the one who scares you. The real him is the one who makes you walk on eggshells. Everything else is performance. And if you stay for the performance, the real him will eventually kill you. Amira Harper and Zaki Bonds got married in May 2025. May. Spring. New beginnings. Hope. Promise. Future. By July, she was dead. 2 months. 60 days. 1,440 hours. 86,400 minutes. That's all the time she got as his wife. That's all the time it took for to become going to kill you. What happened in those 2 months? We'll never know the full story because dead women can't testify, but we know enough. We know that by July 19th, Amira was trapped. We know she was afraid. We know she was trying to survive. We know she was trying to protect her children. We know the system failed her. We know everyone around her failed her. We know she died trying to live. But let's talk about what those 2 months probably looked like. Month 1, the honeymoon phase. This is when he was still being careful, still playing the loving husband, still making her think she made the right choice. But this is also when the control started, slowly, carefully, so she wouldn't notice. Honey, why don't we move to a new place? Fresh start for our marriage. Translation: I'm going to isolate you from everyone you know. You don't need to work anymore. I'll take care of everything. Translation: going to make you financially dependent on me. I love you so much. I just want to spend all our time together. Translation: I'm going to cut you off from friends and family. I worry about you when you're not with me. Translation: I'm going to monitor your every move. All of this sounds romantic to someone who doesn't know better. All of this sounds like love to someone who's never been loved properly. All of this sounds like protection to someone who's been hurt before. But it's not love. It's strategy. When the mask starts slipping, this is when the real violence probably started. Maybe just emotional at first. Yelling, name-calling, threats, intimidation. Then maybe physical. A push, a slap, a grab that leaves bruises, a punch that was an accident. And after each incident, the apologies, the tears, the promises, the gifts, the romance. I'm sorry, baby. I love you so much. I just can't control myself when I think I might lose you. You make me crazy. No woman has ever made me feel this way. I'll never do it again. I promise. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. And she believed him. Because she wanted to. Because she had children to think about. Because she had just gotten married. Because she thought she could fix him. Because she thought love was supposed to be hard. Because she thought this was normal. Because that's what our culture teaches women. We teach women that love is sacrifice. We teach women that good wives stand by their men. We teach women that real love means never giving up. We teach women that if a man is jealous, it means he cares. We teach women that if a man is controlling, it means he's protective. We teach women that if a man gets violent, they must have done something wrong. We basically train women to stay with their killers, and then when they end up dead, we ask, why didn't she just leave? Why didn't she just leave? Why didn't she just leave? Let me tell you why she didn't just leave. Because leaving is the most dangerous time. Because 70% of domestic violence murders happen when women try to leave. Because he probably threatened to kill her if she left. Because he probably threatened to take her children. Because he probably told her no one would believe her. Because he probably controlled all the money. Because he probably isolated her from everyone who could help. Because the system that's supposed to protect women fails them every day. Because leaving gets you killed, and Amira Harper knew that. So she tried to survive instead. She tried to keep the peace. She tried to protect her babies. She tried to make it work, until July 19th, when trying wasn't enough anymore. Let me tell you about the warning signs everyone missed. Because they were there. They're always there. We just don't know how to see them. Or we see them and ignore them. Or we see them and don't know what to do about them. The family move. The neighbors said the family had recently moved to the area. Sounds innocent, right? New couple, new home, new neighborhood. Wrong. Getting away from your support system is abuser 101. It's the first thing they do. They isolate you. They cut you off from people who know you. People who might notice changes. People who might ask questions. People who might help you escape. When someone you love suddenly moves far from everyone they know. For love, that's a red flag. When someone you love stops coming around because their new partner doesn't like their friends and family, that's a red flag. They got married in May 2025. She was dead in July 2025. 2 months. How long do you think they knew each other before they got married? 6 months? A year? Predators move fast. They love bomb you. They make you feel like you've found the one. They rush you into commitment before you can think clearly. Before you can see who they really are. Before other people can warn you. Real love is patient. Real love gives you time to decide. Real love doesn't pressure you into major life changes. Fake love, predatory love, is urgent. We have to get married now. We have to move in together now. We have to cut off your ex-friends. Now. We have to have a baby now. Always now. Always urgent. Always pressure. The police reports say Amira's children witnessed the shooting. All of them. Including the 1-year-old baby he was holding. Think about that. This man looked at children babies and decided it was okay for them to watch their mother die. What kind of person does that? What kind of person traumatizes children like that? What kind of person destroys innocent lives like that? A person who was never safe to be around children, but somehow, Amira trusted him with her babies. Why? Because he was good at pretending. Because he knew how to play the part. Because he convinced her he was safe. This is the most dangerous kind of predator. The kind that seems safe. The kind that gains access to vulnerable people. The kind that no one suspects until it's too late. The neighbors described him as neighborly. They said the family took care of their children. Everything seemed normal from the outside. This is classic abuser behavior. They're charming in public. They're helpful to neighbors. They're polite to strangers. They play the part of the good husband and father. Because if neighbors see them as violent, someone might call police. If neighbors see them as dangerous, someone might intervene. So they perform. They act. They make sure everyone thinks they're good people. And it works. Every time. One neighbor said, "I didn't know them well." Others said they were neighborly, but not close. This tells us Zaki was carefully managing their social connections. Friendly enough that neighbors wouldn't be suspicious. Distant enough that neighbors wouldn't really know what was happening inside the house. If you know someone who moved away from friends and family for a new relationship, get married very quickly, seems friendly, but keeps everyone at a distance. As a partner who's protective, but it feels controlling, makes excuses for their partner's behavior, has stopped doing things they used to love, seems afraid of their partner's reaction to things, unexplained injuries or bruises. Their children seem nervous or scared. These are warning signs, not proof, but signs. Signs that someone needs help. Signs that someone needs you to pay attention. Signs that someone's life might be in danger. Don't ignore them. Don't mind your own business. Don't assume someone else will handle it. Speak up. Ask questions. Offer help. Be the person they can trust. Because Amira Harper needed someone to notice. She needed someone to ask. She needed someone to help. And no one did. And now she's dead. Don't let that happen to the next woman. Let's talk about the community that surrounded Amira Harper. Because this wasn't a woman living in isolation. This wasn't someone nobody cared about. This wasn't a stranger in a strange place. This was a woman people loved. Latifa Holloway lived just 2 doors down. She said, "She was really a nice person. She was a friend to my daughter." Another neighbor said, "She's like a daughter to me, and her kids always come over here. They play with my grandchildren." Anthony Carden, another neighbor, said, "I didn't know them well, but they were neighborly. The family took care of their children. These people cared about Amira. These people liked Amira. These people would have helped Amira. So why didn't they? Because they didn't know she needed help. Because she was good at hiding it. Because he was good at controlling the narrative. Because our society teaches us to mind our own business. Because we don't know how to recognize the signs. Because we don't know how to intervene safely. But here's what breaks my heart. They all knew something was wrong after she was dead." Latifa Holloway said, "It's just sad. It's heartbreaking. My heart is broken." Anthony Carden said, "It's traumatic for all of us. I pray for the family. My heart goes out to them, particularly the children. Where were all these prayers when she was alive? Where was all this heartbreak when she needed help? Where was all this concern when it could have saved her?" I'm not blaming the neighbors. I'm blaming the system. I'm blaming the culture. I'm blaming all of us. Because we create communities where people can be murdered in their homes while neighbors sit 2 doors down, and nobody knows until it's too late. We have to do better. When police arrived at 8:38 p.m., they found Amira Harper suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. She was transported to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where she later died. She didn't die immediately. She fought. She tried to live. She probably hoped someone would save her, while paramedics worked on her, while doctors tried to save her life. Where was Zaki Bonds? Hiding in a backyard like a coward. Police found him hiding and arrested him. Not turning himself in. Not calling for help. Not showing remorse. Hiding, like the coward he is. Here's what I want you to understand. Amira Harper didn't just die because one man decided to kill her. She died because an entire system failed her. The system that should have recognized the warning signs. The system that should have provided resources. The system that should have protected her. The system that should have held him accountable before he killed her. But what system are we talking about? The healthcare system that sees women with suspicious injuries and doesn't ask the right questions. The legal system that treats domestic violence like a family matter instead of a crime. The social system that teaches women to be quiet and obedient. The cultural system that romanticizes jealousy and control. The economic system that makes women dependent on men for survival. The community system that teaches us to mind our own business. All of these systems failed Amira Harper, and they're failing women right now. According to the Philadelphia Police Department, there have been 27 domestic violence homicides this year. That's 10 more than last year. In one city, in 7 months, 27 women, 27 daughters, 27 mothers, sisters, friends, 27 families destroyed, 27 sets of children traumatized, 27 communities that failed to protect them. And those are just the ones we know about. Just the ones reported as domestic violence. Just the ones in Philadelphia. How many more women died and their murders weren't classified as domestic violence? How many more women are living in fear right now? How many more women are planning escapes they'll never make? How many more children are watching their mothers get hurt? This is not just about Amira Harper. This is about an epidemic. This is about a crisis. This is about a war on women that we're pretending isn't happening. 3 women die every day in this country because of domestic violence. Every day, while we're eating breakfast, going to work, watching TV, sleeping, 3 women are being murdered by men who claim to love them. And we act shocked every time. We act like it's rare. We act like it's someone else's problem. It's not rare. It's common. And it's everyone's problem. Because until we all take responsibility for protecting women, women will keep dying. Until we all learn the warning signs, women will keep dying. Until we all speak up when we see something wrong, women will keep dying. Amira Harper is dead because we failed her. All of us. Every single one of us. Saturday, July 19th, 2025. A normal summer evening in Philadelphia. People sitting on their stoops. Children playing. Life happening. Inside the house on the 2600 block of Latona Street, Amira Harper was trying to survive another day. We don't know what started the argument. We probably never will. Because with men like Zaki Bonds, it doesn't matter what starts it. The violence was always coming. The murder was always the plan. The only question was when. Maybe dinner wasn't ready on time. Maybe she looked at him wrong. Maybe she tried to leave. Maybe she said no to something. Maybe she answered the phone. Maybe she didn't answer the phone. Maybe she smiled at a neighbor. Maybe she didn't smile at a neighbor. Maybe she breathed. With abusers, everything is a reason to hurt you. Your existence is a reason to hurt you. Your independence is a reason to hurt you. Your happiness is a reason to hurt you. Your sadness is a reason to hurt you. There is no right way to be with an abuser. There is no way to be safe with an abuser. There is no way to survive an abuser except to leave. And leaving often gets you killed. Around 8:30 p.m. neighbors start hearing arguing. Voices getting louder. Tension building. Fear growing. Latifa Holloway, 2 doors down, said, "I just heard a lot of noise like somebody arguing and then screaming. Arguing, then screaming." Think about that progression. Words became screams. Anger became terror. Control became violence. 8:38 p.m. the shooting begins. 11 shots. Let me say that again. 11 shots. This wasn't a crime of passion. This wasn't temporary insanity. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't self-defense. This was an execution. 1 shot might be impulsive. 2 shots might be anger. 3 shots might be rage. 11 shots is intent to kill. 11 shots is premeditation. 11 shots is murder with malice. Sources tell Action News the couple was in their kitchen when Bonds fired the shots. Their kitchen. The place where they ate meals together. The place where they probably had coffee in the morning. The place where she probably cooked for him. The place where she probably tried to make their house feel like a home. He turned their kitchen into a crime scene. He turned their home into a place of horror. He turned their life together into a nightmare. He was holding their 1-year-old baby at the time. Let that sink in. He was holding a baby while he murdered the baby's mother. Think about what that baby experienced. the noise, the fear, the violence, being held by the man who just killed mommy. Think about the trauma, the confusion, the terror. That baby will never be the same. That baby will carry this for life. That baby's first other children were in the living room. In the living room, close enough to hear everything, close enough to understand what was happening, close enough to know mommy was in danger, close enough to know daddy was hurting her, but too far away to help, too young to intervene, too small to save her. Think about their terror, hearing their mother scream, hearing the gunshots, knowing something terrible was happening, not knowing if they were next. Anthony Card, a neighbor, said, "I did see the family run, and that's hard to forget. The children had to run for their lives, from their own home, from their own father." After the shooting, surveillance video shows a man leaving the house. He didn't call 911. He didn't try to help her. He didn't check on the children. He didn't show any remorse. He ran like a coward, like the coward he always was. Police found him hiding in a backyard, hiding like a child, like a criminal, like exactly what he is. Meanwhile, Amira Harper was fighting for her life. She was loaded into an ambulance. She was rushed to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center. She was surrounded by doctors and nurses trying to save her. She was trying to live. For her children, for her family, for herself. But 11 bullets were too much. The damage was too severe. The violence was too extreme. She died. A 28-year-old mother. A woman people loved. A person who deserved to live. A human being who should have been safe in her own home. Dead. Because one man decided she didn't deserve to exist. While investigators collected evidence inside the home Saturday night, loved ones embraced each other on the street. Picture that scene. Police cars, ambulances, yellow tape, evidence markers, blood, chaos, and outside, on the street, people who loved Amira trying to understand how this happened. How the woman they saw just days ago was now gone forever. How the children they watched play were now orphans. How the neighborhood they thought was safe was now a crime scene. This is what violence does. It doesn't just destroy the victim. It destroys everyone who loved them. It destroys communities. It destroys the feeling of safety. It destroys the belief that good things last. 3 children lost their mother. 3 children watched their father kill her. 3 children now have to live with that memory forever. The 1-year-old who was in his arms. The older children who heard the screaming and gunshots. All of them now traumatized beyond repair. Where are these children now? Who's taking care of them? Who's paying for their therapy? Who's explaining why daddy killed mommy? Who's helping them sleep at night? Who's answering their questions? Who's loving them through this horror? These are the real victims. These are the ones who have to live with this forever. These are the ones we should all be fighting for. If you're a parent watching this, imagine your children experiencing what Amira's children experienced. Imagine them hearing you scream for help. Imagine them hiding in terror. Imagine them watching the person who's supposed to protect them commit murder. Imagine the nightmares. Imagine the questions you can't answer. Imagine the trauma they'll carry forever. That's what Zaki Bonds did to his own children. That's what abusers do to families. That's what we allow to happen when we don't intervene. Zaki Bonds, 28, of Philadelphia, has been charged with murder, recklessly endangering another person, and other related offenses. Murder, recklessly endangering another person, other related offenses. That's what the legal system calls what he did. That's how they categorize the systematic destruction of a family. That's how they describe the execution of a 28-year-old mother in front of her children. It's not enough. It's never enough. Murder. This covers the killing of Amira Harper, but it doesn't cover the psychological murder of her children. It doesn't cover the destruction of her family. It doesn't cover the trauma inflicted on the community. It doesn't cover the life she'll never get to live. It doesn't cover the grandchildren she'll never meet. It doesn't cover the dreams that died with her, recklessly endangering another person. This probably covers the children who witnessed the murder, but recklessly endangering doesn't capture what really happened. This wasn't reckless. This was intentional. This was calculated. This was deliberate. He chose to kill their mother in front of them. He chose to traumatize them. He chose to destroy their childhood. He chose to steal their sense of safety forever. Recklessly endangering is what you call a drunk driver or someone who leaves a loaded gun around children. This was intentional. Psychological warfare against babies. What other offenses? What about terroristic threats? What about child endangerment? What about domestic violence? What about stalking? What about harassment? What about the months of abuse that led up to murder? The legal system treats domestic violence murder like a one-time event. But it's never a one-time event. It's the culmination of a pattern of abuse. It's the final act in a long play of control and violence. Let's talk about what really matters here. The 3 children who went to bed with a mother and father and woke up orphans. The baby 1-year-old was in Zaki's arms when he pulled the trigger 11 times. This baby felt the vibration of the gun, heard the explosions, was covered in their mother's blood, was held by her killer. That baby will never be normal. That baby's brain is wired for trauma now. That baby will have attachment issues. That baby will have trust issues. That baby will struggle with relationships forever. And the sickest part, that baby won't remember their mother, won't remember her voice, won't remember her hugs, won't remember her love. All they'll have are stories from other people and the trauma that their father gave them. Child number 2 and number 3. The witnesses old enough to understand what happened, old enough to be terrified, old enough to have nightmares, old enough to blame themselves. Anthony Carden said, "I did see the family run, and that's hard to forget. Children running for their lives, from their own home, from their own father. Think about their terror, think about their confusion, think about the questions they can't ask, think about the answers no one can give them. Why did daddy hurt mommy? Is daddy going to hurt us too? Did we do something wrong? Is mommy coming back? Are we safe now? Where are these children now? Are they together? Are they separated? Are they with family? Are they with strangers? The system that failed their mother will now be responsible for their care. The system that didn't protect her will now try to heal them. The system that let this happen will now pretend to care about them. But the damage is already done. The trauma is already there. The healing will take forever, if it ever comes at all. This is what violence does. It doesn't just kill the victim. It destroys generations. The questions we should ask, instead of asking, "Why didn't she leave?" we should ask, who's going to pay for these children's therapy? Who's going to help them heal? Who's going to make sure they don't repeat this cycle? Who's going to love them through this trauma? Who's going to answer their questions? Who's going to keep them safe now? These are the questions that matter. These are the lives we should be fighting for. This story isn't unique. It's not rare. It's not unusual. It's common. It's predictable. It's preventable. And it's happening right now. While you've been watching this video, another woman has probably been killed by her partner. Every single one of these murders follows the same pattern. The same pattern. Every time. Like a script. Like a playbook. Like a recipe for murder. And we act surprised every time. The system response. After each murder, the system responds the same way. Arrest the perpetrator, charge him with murder, have a trial, made convict. Himpit him in prison, act like justice was served, forget about the children, ignore the family, move on to the next case. Reactive, not preventive. Punishment, not protection. Justice for the dead, not safety for the living. And women keep dying. How many more Amira Harpers have to die before we admit we have a problem? How many more children have to be traumatized before we take action? How many more families have to be destroyed before we change? This is not normal. This is not inevitable. This is preventable, but only if we all take responsibility. Only if we all learn the signs. Only if we all speak up. Only if we all act. Amira Harper is dead. Her children are traumatized forever. Her family is destroyed. Her killer is sitting in jail, probably planning his defense. Her community is shocked and heartbroken. The system is investigating. The media has moved on to the next story, and nothing has changed. Tomorrow, 3 more women will be murdered by their partners. Next week, 21 more. Next month, 90 more. Next year, over 1,000 more. When does it stop? It stops when we stop making excuses for violent men. It stops when we stop blaming women for men's choices. It stops when we start believing women the first time they say they're afraid. It stops when we realize that love and violence cannot coexist. It stops when we take action instead of just offering thoughts and prayers. It stops when we decide it stops. Subscribe to this channel if you believe women's lives matter. Share this video if you want to save someone's life. Comment below with your commitment to action. But don't just watch and scroll. Don't just feel sad and move on. Do something. Text someone you're worried about. Learn the warning signs. Volunteer at a domestic violence shelter. Donate to organizations that help survivors. Vote for politicians who support women's safety. Have conversations with your children about healthy relationships. Speak up when you see red flags. Because Amira Harper's story doesn't end with her death. It continues with what we do next. It continues with the lives we save. It continues with the changes we make. It continues with the action we take. Her name was Amira Harper. She was 28 years old. She was a mother of 3. She deserved to live. She deserved protection. She deserved our help. We failed her. Don't fail the next one, because there will be a next one. Unless we stop it, unless we act, unless we change, the choice is ours. The time is now. The next life depends on it. Remember Amira Harper, July 19, 2025, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She was loved. She mattered. She deserved better. Don't let her death be in vain. Take action today.